I'm your host, Jeremy DeMerchant. Let's stick my name on the screen to make it look professional. Bam. And I want to welcome you to this episode. So today is going to be a little bit of a different episode. Those of you watching, there's some very interesting stuff going on in our world right now. Interesting is probably one of the more kinder words I can use to describe it, because I know a lot of people are stressing. People are nervous, people are uncertain, and I get it. And I know I'm not supposed to talk about things that are time specific for purposes of turning this into a podcast. So my editor will have some work to do maybe. Or let's just call it like it is, guys. Today, the date is March 18th, 2020. And we're in the middle of a pandemic, which makes business very uncertain. And those of you watching live know this, so you don't need to hear it again. But what I do want to talk about today is what this means. And I'm not going to be some financial forecaster. I was asked to major in economics at one point in my life, but I did not. So that's not the space that I play. The space that I play and the space that I'm going to play for you right now is specifically around keeping your head in the game and what you need to do to make sure that you continue to grow when everything else is contracting. How do you expand when everything is contracting? A lot of people are really worried, and I get it. And for those of you that are running sales teams, those of you that are sales representatives, those of you that are business owners, one, you got to keep your head in the game. This is not a time to go and take a 14-day break. I know some businesses functionally have to close their doors right now, but I don't want your brain to stop. I mean, if you want to give yourself a weekend, I mean, sure. But don't just go with it. Take control. If your title, officially or unofficially, is CEO of a business, I want to challenge you to think about how you can continue to do what you do, even if the traditional means aren't there. If you can't have somebody physically walking into your store, if your audience that you serve is now facing a financial constraint, what can you do? So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. And I have 3 key things that are vitally important for you to keep moving forward, keep growing when things are contracting, because you can either decide to go with everybody else. You can decide, well, people have time off work, maybe I'll just relax. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not here to judge. But I will say that if you want to take advantage of an opportunity, what's happening in the world is many people's businesses are shrinking. And yours might be one that's shrinking too. And if you can find a way to stand out, if you can find a way to get in front of your audience right now, your audience is probably home consuming more content than ever. So I want to encourage you to think outside the box. And I want to give you an example of a company that could be or is, I mean, it's a real company, but I'm not going to use specific company names to describe it. Think about a company whose sole business is coordinating tours to Italy, a country right now that is basically shut down. Well, most countries are kind of shut down right now, depending on what's been going on. What do you do? What do you do if your core business, which is coordinating trips to a country, is now closed? How do you come back from that? How do you manage that? How do you still continue to think big and try to still expand your business? Well, the great news is all your competition is experiencing the exact same thing. Okay, so you're not alone, which means if you do nothing, you're going to be like everybody else, and everything will come back around. And as long as you're in things in place to protect your team, protect your company, you're not going to end up, going broke before things turn around. You'll be all right. But what can you do to go bigger? And so there was a company like this, and I made a suggestion to someone that was working with them. And I said, look, if your business is all about curating experiences in Italy, and that's not going to be happening right now, how can you still create that experience somehow for people when most people aren't leaving their homes? How can you create some experience for them so that when all this stuff gets sorted out, when things start to turn back around, when the planes start flying again, the borders open up, etc., that people want that more than ever? So my thought was this: how can they curate virtual tours of locations in Italy? Think about it. If you get a virtual tour of the Sistine Chapel, if you get a virtual tour of, there's so many things, the cathedral, everything in Italy. There's so many things, right? If you can get a virtual tour of that and experience it virtually, virtual doesn't replace in-person stuff. In fact, it'll make you want to go there more, is my feeling. So how can you curate those experiences, provide them for people, so your name and your brand is the one still associated with your message, and you're the one they go to when the time comes to jump back on a plane? So that's just one example, and it's an extreme example, but I bet you could find a version in your own business. If you're someone that's been hit hard because you're an event business, and I get it, right? Right now, we can't have, depending on where you're at, you can't have more than 150 people or 100 people or 50 people in one place. So that number keeps shrinking. So virtual events are going to be huge. So how can you create the same kind of experience for you, for your clients' clients in a virtual setting? And this is a great time for you to do research and dig in. What are the true best practices on maximizing the impact of a virtual event? Now, guys, there's a whole online marketing world where people have been doing online events for years and years and years, and you can learn from them. Traditional events can borrow a lot from the online marketing space. So think about that. What can you do? In my market right now, I'm amazing at helping people close more sales. But right now, although it is more important to close more sales than ever for most of my clients, getting those leads in the door is also a concern. So I'm exploring, I'm not committing to it, but I'm exploring the idea of either partnering or doing some training or research on how we can create potentially a lead generation side of permission to sell so that we can help serve that as well. And there's lots of pros, there's lots of cons as well, so we're still evaluating it. But this is where my mind's going, right? How can you get in front of it? How can you provide additional services? Your core business is this, and it's simple. Create your branded message and deliver it to your ideal clients. That's it. So for the next 60, 90 days, you may not be able to make a sale. Now, I'm not saying throw in the towel and give up, but I'm saying that if you have the ability to market effectively and still allow your audience to experience the core message related to your brand, then you can prime the pump, so to speak, for what's going to happen 60, 90 days from now. So if you're sitting back going, oh, everything's falling apart, I'm running out of money, I don't want to spend any money, I think it's a mistake. Okay, don't be foolish with your money, but be strategic with it. Okay, think about how do you play offense when the rest of the world's on defense. This is huge, right? It's kind of like with the stock market. Stock market goes down, wealthy people buy, broke people sell. No offense if you're someone that's sold, but it's a mindset thing. So when the world is contracting, when the market's shrinking, it's an opportunity for people to get ahead of everybody else. Think beyond average. You don't get into this, the factor of average, as Rand Stewman calls it, or something like that. Don't think average. Think, hey, I'm a CEO, and I want to create the best of the situation. What can I do? So one, think about what you can do that aligns with your message. Okay, I don't want to say forget about sales, because you shouldn't forget about sales. But if the reality is your audience as it stands is not buying because they can't for financial reasons or whatever, one, try to find a way to make it so they can. Whether it's pre-purchase, give a discount for buying in advance, find solutions. But if at the end of the day it's just not happening, focus on how to get the core message that is your business in front of the right people now and carry them through with free resources, content, so that when time comes that they can buy again, you're the one that they're thinking of. Okay, so that's super, super vital. Now, the three key pieces that I want to cover, that was my little bit of a rant here, but three pieces I want to cover for you, and what I consider to be the three most important components of thriving in times like this, when things are starting to shrink, things are starting to contract, there's talk of of a recession, and I don't want to poison the water and throw any negativity, because I think we have a good opportunity. A lot of people are in bad shape, and you can help people. I promise you that what you offer right now, maybe not always in the form that it is right now, but the core thing that you offer to your audience is something that's still valuable to them, can still help them. If you curate tours to Italy, right now, a lot of the audience, they're at home. Their kids are at home. Their spouse is at home. Everybody's home. They want something to do. If you can still curate experiences in Italy, just do it virtually. You've still got your brand associated with the message that you want, and you're creating raving fans in the process. If you have an event business, yes, all your clients right now are probably having a tough time. You're struggling over who is absorbing costs. Lots of money is lost, and I get it. But what can you do? They still have the need to bring people together in a community. They still have the need to create organized experiences. And they still have the need to be able to create so much value, and in most cases, offer a next step to their audience. Right? Live events are not only amazing for creating experiences, indoctrinating people into your world, and creating the opportunity to make an offer that's going to help them go even further. Right? Not only is it great for that, but it's a vital part of a lot of people's businesses. So how can you create those same components, maybe in a little different way, but still provide that value? I mean, virtual events, it's easy for me to say. Where it was going to be a physical event, make it virtual. It's not that simple, and I get that. But think outside the box. Get creative. What can you do? Guys, the other part, I'm sort of drifting all over the place here because I'm fired up about this. The other part is, if you're someone that has a job, there's nothing wrong with a job, by the way. I used to bash jobs. I was an idiot. Jobs are good. Okay, it's okay to have a job. Nothing wrong with it. And it's even better to have a job and a side hustle. What I would encourage you to do right now, if you're someone that's off and you're still getting paid, awesome. Leverage this time to educate yourself. In fact, if you're off and you're not getting paid, leverage this time to educate yourself as well. What other skills can you learn that will help you in your business? Got a friend who's a barber. Just had a conversation with her, and she's off right now, not getting paid. I said, well, what can you do so that you're better prepared to generate more business when things turn back around? We talked about, maybe she could learn how to generate her own leads. Maybe she could create a marketing side and think of herself not as a barber, but as a hairstyling business, and have a marketing component to what she does every day. So she's doing things to generate leads, so that her business in the future is not reliant on somebody's ability to walk through a door. Right? There's lots of different options depending on where you're at. There's ways that you can become a mobile stylist and go to people's houses, stuff like that. But to be able to generate those leads is super vital. So that's something she can learn now while she's off, and it can apply to her business. So what can you do? What can you learn? Like I mentioned, for me, I want me or a member of my team to dig into the lead gen side and see if it's a feasible addition to what we do. Because if we can do lead generation and help you close those sales, it's a win-win. So think about that for yourself. Now, back to this list of 3 that I can't seem to get to. I'm so darn fired up. 1, you got to keep your head right. There's a lot of nasty stuff going on out there. The news is all negative. We're focusing on how many people are getting sick, but we're not hearing much about the people that are getting better. Okay, so understand that the news is very polarizing, and it's on purpose because that's what gets people's attention. You can shut the news off for a minute. Okay, I promise you, if you can shut Netflix off, shut the news off, shut Amazon Prime off, shut the radio off, I promise you'll find the information, put notifications on Twitter when it's important stuff or something. Okay, but the less you can feed your mind that, the better you're going to be. And in fact, I would replace it. Replace it with something positive, something that's strategy, something that's going to help you think at a critical level. Because if you're a CEO or you're a sales professional and you are self-employed, you are the person that runs your business, which means you need to think like it. You need to think like a business owner, think like a CEO. So I want to mention one book right now that I would encourage you to get. So I went for a drive today because I've been chilling out in the house for the last 2 days, haven't seen the sunlight except for a window. So I went for a drive and I drove past the bookstore. There's a sign, temporarily closed. And I realized that that's where people need to be. Now, yeah, we're doing the proximity thing and social distancing and all that jazz. But the knowledge that's in those books is what's going to help you get through this. So you want to get your head right. And before I tell you what book it is, I want you to think about how can you get access to knowledge, qualified knowledge. Okay, you can find lots of videos on YouTube. That's cool. Just make sure it's coming from a reliable source and not somebody that just learned two things and decided to regurgitate it. Okay. Get on, get the Amazon app so you can get stuff delivered to your home. If you like audiobooks like I do, download Audible. If you want an affiliate link, I'll post it around here somewhere. Or just go to Audible, whatever. Audible.ca for the Canadians, audible.com for the Americans. They are two separate sites, just one for your country. And that way you can get access to the knowledge. This is the time when education is going to rule. Education plus action, okay? Information isn't power, right? Knowledge isn't power. Knowledge plus action is power, right? Knowledge alone is potential. So let's step one, get that knowledge into you. So the book that I want to mention to you, you can get it on Audible. You can order it direct. It is called If You're Not First, You're Last by Grant Cardone. This is a book that he wrote right after all the chaos that went through in 2008. Markets crashed, housing crisis, loans, all that jazz, the whole world went, right? Everything contracted. And it's when he put his head down and decided that's when he was going to move the fastest. He was going to push the hardest. He was going to scream the loudest. And it's the time when he got the most market traction because not as many people were out there. People were shrinking. People were doing layoffs. And he said, okay, how do we go big? How do we do offense when the world's on defense? The entire book, If You're Not First, You're Last, talks about the mindset and strategies to grow your business. There's businesses that have added multiple millions of dollars to their bottom line because of the strategies in this book. So check it out. If You're Not First, You're Last by Grant Cardone. It's on Audible. You can get the book delivered on Amazon. You can go to grantcardone.com and buy it through there as well. Check it out. I'm going through it right now. Phenomenal book. Step two, stay connected. So if you have a team, just because you're now remote, where maybe before you were in person, you need to stay connected. People will start to disconnect emotionally if they don't have that physical, at least video contact. Obviously, physical contact's better from a human being perspective, not so good for what's going on right now. But stay connected. As an example, as I mentioned, this is March 18th. Yesterday was St. Patrick's Day. And yesterday I jumped on a call with a couple other people where we virtually had a St. Patrick's Day beverage. All the pubs are closed, right? So you can still do this stuff. Don't forget about virtual stuff. So stay connected. And I want to talk about a couple different pieces of software. I probably do have some affiliate links to these, but don't worry about it. Just go check them out. One is Slack. If you want to communicate with your team, Slack is great. You can have multiple companies, multiple channels, lots of options. SLACK, Slack. Basically, it's a messaging app for a team. Facebook Messenger, really, really popular. Good for one-on-one, good for groups. WhatsApp works the same way. So Facebook owns WhatsApp, owns Messenger. Even messaging on Instagram, depending on what the company is. Just make it so you can stay in contact. I personally love Voxer. Voxer is a phenomenal app. It works like a walkie-talkie. There's a free version that works great. There's a pro version if you want to run groups. I use it every single day with my team. It's a really great app, and it's very inexpensive even for the pro version. And it allows you to drop a voice message into the app, and then the other person can get it when they have a chance to get it. So it's like the convenience of dropping a voicemail with the function of a walkie-talkie. Kind of like a voice text message, basically. You can do a similar thing in Facebook Messenger as well. So use that. Voice-to-voice is more powerful than texting. Just know that the person on the other side might have to play it out loud, so just make sure what you're saying is going to be okay based on the environment they're in. My main favorite one is Zoom. That's what we had the St. Patrick's Day celebration on last night. Zoom is great. Face-to-face. This morning I had a meeting with my accountability buddy on Zoom. I had a meeting with my VA just before before we went live here on Zoom. I joined a mastermind call last week on Zoom. Zoom is just amazing, and there's a free version. So check it out, zoom.us to get that. That's, I think, is one of the stocks that have actually gone up with all the chaos, because everybody's going virtual. Zoom is very inexpensive, especially because there's a free version. Even the paid one, which has lots of bells and whistles, I definitely recommend it. I think it's amazing. So Zoom is the other one. There's something else I got written down. I can't read my own handwriting. Hold on one second. No, don't know what it is. Okay. Oh, FaceTime. That's what it is. FaceTime as well. If you're an iPhone user, Apple user, here's a little plug for all my Mac crew. FaceTime on your iPhone, on your MacBook, whatever. It's good. So there's lots of other apps. You can do video on WhatsApp as well. Lots of options. But just don't forget that people exist. You can substitute. I know it's not the same, but you can substitute the video or the person-to-person for video, at least for now, until this stuff gets sorted out. Number 3. So number 2 was staying in contact. Number 3 is making good routines for your health, for your nutrition, for sleep, for your work. And I'm going to throw in another one I didn't write down, which is for your mindset. Here's the deal. For the last 2 days, if you saw my video yesterday, if you watch my video now, I'm wearing a tie. Man, I've not worn a tie for a long, long time. I think I did a presentation on stage once where I put on a tie for like a wedding or a funeral. But for the last couple days, yesterday I put on a tie because I had a green St. Patty's Day tie and I thought it was cool. And somebody said, I noticed you were wearing a tie. Oh, that's interesting. So today, I suited up again. So I got the tie on because it feels good. It makes me feel like I'm on it. I'm good to go, right? So if you're working at home, try not to be chilling out in sweats. And I get it. It's a nice change from the routine. But my dad always told me, dress for the job you want, not the job you have. Well, I promise you, the job you want might, it might end up being a virtual job long term. Who knows? But from the neck up, let's present yourself like an executive. Let's present yourself like you are the top of your game. I've got French cuff shirt, got cufflinks on, I'm blinged up. Now, in all fairness, I'm wearing jeans and just socks down below, okay? So don't have fancy dress shoes on, but from here up, it feels awesome. So that's total side note, but what can you do to feel good? When you're working from home, get up, get showered, get dressed. You don't have to go full tie, but what makes you feel good? This is a mind game with you, with yourself. Okay, even if you're not on video with people, what's gonna make you feel good? Get up, get showered, get dressed. So health-wise, what are you eating? Actually, that's nutrition. Health and nutrition-wise, what are you eating? What food are you putting in your body? Jana said earlier, she was sitting there, her sister was eating an orange, and she was eating peaches and cottage cheese. And I said, well, you guys are just sitting around eating fruit. She says, it's better than eating storm chips, which, if you're not familiar, storm chips is an awesome kind of chips. But she said, not eating storm chips, sitting around getting fat. She had a good point. So what are you eating? What are you putting in your body? If this goes longer than we want it to, how are your actions and behaviors today going to impact long term? So think about that. What are you putting in your body food-wise? What are you doing from a health perspective? Are you working out from home? Can you still get access to a gym? My gym is still open. I'm not going to it though. My gym's amazing, for the record. Shout out to Naturally Fit. But right now, I'm just going to try to play it safe and do some stuff from home. So in the interim, there's a few different options. One, there's a good chance that you're somewhere that one of the large corporations have gyms. And those ones that are probably closed down at this point, a lot of them are offering online training, even to non-members. I have no reason to shout out any particular one, but I heard this morning that Planet Fitness might be one that allows people publicly to jump on, which means no matter where you are, I think you can get on. There's lots of other options. There's lots of personal trainers out there that can create a personal custom eating plan for you and a custom home workout plan for you. Shout out to Alex Neo in Ontario, Brittany Bird. We got lots of trainers here. We got the trainers associated with Naturally Fit. There's piles of people. And a lot of people have these apps. There's larger companies that provide slightly customized food plans. There's so many options. So don't let your health and fitness just kind of go by the wayside because you're letting this feel like a big vacation, because it's not what it is. Okay, take care of yourself. Sleep, get some sleep. Now I'm going to admit, because I don't have to go to the gym as early anymore, at all at the moment. I'm sleeping in a little bit. Got up at 8:30 today. First call was at 9. But I got a good sleep. Okay, take care of your sleep. It's easy for your body to not recover if you're not rested. Keep your body in good health. Take your vitamins. What do I got? I got my Formula for Men multivitamin. I'm not an expert on vitamins, so don't bother telling me if what I'm taking is right or wrong. But just do something for yourself. Keep feeding your body. Give yourself the nutrition. And then work. What's your work schedule? Make it a schedule. Don't sit there with your laptop on the couch and say you're working while you get Netflix in the background. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Okay? If you're doing stuff for fun, great, whatever. But if you need to work, make a schedule. And my day today is going to go till about 6 o'clock tonight. After that, I'm done. It's Wednesday. It's date night for me. That's an ongoing thing. Friday, date night again. And Mondays and Tuesdays and Thursdays, I get to work later. That's my work schedule. And I've got an advantage because I've for the last 5 years, I've worked from home, basically. So I've got this stuff sorted out for myself. So right now, anything you can do to get it sorted out for you, especially if you're new, this working from home thing, take advantage of this stuff. So let me see, what do I have for notes here? I think I mentioned it. Local gyms or chains that might have online programs, personal trainers that have virtual services to make you a workout from home plan. Many different options. There's a couple of huge network marketing companies that offer online like fitness from home stuff too. Great options. And I'm not saying one's better than the other. I'm exploring a couple of them, to be honest. So take advantage of that stuff. See what's out there, and just find out what works for you. There's one that's coming out with this rocking boxing training that I'm really intrigued by. So it's a good chance I'm going to go sign up for that. But make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Okay, so let's go back. The 3 things. 1, keep your head right. And that's Grant Cardone's book, If You're Not First, You're Last. You keep your head right, written in the recession or crash, or whatever you want to call it, of 2008. Okay, written in the midst or just after that. Learn from what he's done. That recession, the way he behaved in it, made him one of the most recognized business consultants and sales coaches in North America. Okay. If you're not first, you're last, Grant Cardone. 2, stay connected. Zoom, Messenger, WhatsApp, Slack, Voxer. Use them. Connect with your team. Stay in communication. Pretend like you're still next to each other if that's how your normal day worked. It's okay to send some messages that are more social. Social connection we need. Jump on the phone. Give them a call, right? Sometimes we forget that these things actually were originally designed to make phone calls. Okay? You can do it. And then number 3, make good routines for yourself, your health, your nutrition, your sleep, and your work. Take care of yourself, guys. If you implement these 3 things, and for number 1, okay, If You're Not First, You're Last, it's a great book to start. You'll eventually finish the book. There's other books as well. I'm also in the process of reading Atomic Habits by James Clear, I think. I've heard it's an amazing book. I'm only just starting it because I want to give myself better habits as well. But keep absorbing this content and be strategic about it. Don't just absorb it and then not do anything with it. Make notes. An Audible subscription is like $15 a month to get 1 credit. So it's a book. Take advantage of it. Okay, so leverage all this stuff. Create this new routine for yourself. I don't know how long this is going to be like this for. And if when you're watching this or listening to this, everything is all good, awesome. Still think about what I'm saying. Because there's a good chance this cycle will happen again. This happens. Stuff happens, right? We got recessions. We got we get major illnesses that are big deals, right? What happens, as Tony Robbins would say, winter is here. Okay, this is winter. What are you doing to prepare for winter? If we're in winter right now and we're kind of hustling to figure it out, and that's fine. But also think about next time there's a winter, next time the season where the crops don't grow quite as well, next time there's more challenges than normal in the marketplace. What can we do now to prepare? But more importantly, in this moment, what can you do right now to prepare when we go back to spring and summer and fall as far as seasons go? When the crops are flourishing, when it's time to go make the money, when it's time to go build the business. What can you do now to make sure you're ready to hit the ground running when the sky's clear? So think about that, guys. That's all I really have to say for today, except for one last thing, and I mentioned this on a video the other day. If you didn't see it, I don't want you to miss out on the message. This is a time when your audience needs your help. And if you are in sales, and if you're watching this, you probably are. In fact, in my opinion, everybody's in sales, whether you know it or not. But if you're in sales, that means you've got the power to influence. And whether it's influence somebody to invest in your product, or whether it's the power to influence somebody's mindset and how they look at something, you've got a responsibility to your audience. There are people that look to you for guidance and leadership. And you've got the opportunity to stand up right now. To stand up and say, we're not just going to sit back on the couch and watch Netflix. We want to help people. We want to do good things. Reach out to every single person you've ever done business with. Connect with them. See how you or someone in your network can help them. Lots of people are struggling right now. And there's not a whole lot you can do about that except for reach out and see what you can do to help. Okay? And that's part of your business strategy too. So if you want to, it's just being a good person, but also this is an opportunity to build relationships for the next 30, 60, 90 days, however long this stuff goes. You've got an opportunity to build relationships. Please, 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 please leverage the opportunity, strengthen the relationships, keep doing what you do best, which is probably through your business or through what you sell. Keep promoting the benefits of what you offer, because there's people in the world that know, or there's people in the world that need what you have. And think of it this way. I've said this a couple times in the last couple of days. Think about every single person that's nervous or uncertain right now. And they go to their roof and they pull out their bat signal. And it's shining up into the clouds. But the logo on the signal isn't a bat. It's your logo or your name or your brand. It's something that indicates, hey, I need help to solve this problem. And you can provide the help for that problem. The challenge is everybody's shining their lights up in the air right now. And you can't tell what's for what, which means you need to go hunting to find the people that need you. So pick up the phone, pick up Messenger, send links around for Zoom calls, connect with people and see. Check in, see how they are, see how you or someone in your network can help them. And just build this relationship capital over the next 30, 60, 90 days. Okay, let's see what we can create by helping each other. And if your service that you sell is what can help somebody, sell it. Don't sit there and worry about if people are going to look at you like you're taking advantage of the situation. I don't care. You shouldn't either. I'm not going to say, I'm sorry, I can't teach you how to close more sales right now because it's an inconvenient time to ask you to pay money. That's ridiculous. My business still needs to live. I still need to live. My team still needs to live. I will still absolutely ask you to invest in the results. But if that's not the problem you need solved right now, I'm going to connect you with somebody that can help you. Or I'm going to help you in other ways, right? So just let's approach this whole thing with help, support, make things great for everybody, or at least as good as they possibly can be, and build this relationship capital over this next 30, 60, 90 days. And remember, keep your head right. If you're not first, you're last. Grant Cardone. Stay connected. Slack, Messenger, WhatsApp, Voxer, FaceTime, Zoom. And make good routines for your health, your nutrition, your sleep, and your work, and your mindset. Right, guys? I'm Jeremy DeMerchant. This was episode number 43 of Sales Team Rescue. I would love to hear some feedback on what you think of my suggestions. And remember, get uncomfortable, get results. We'll see you next week, Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. And for this replay, previous episodes, and a link to make sure you get the next one, go to salesteamrescue.com. And if you want to sit down with me personally and have a sales team blueprint session, or just want to talk about your own sales, go to salesteamrescue.com, book a session. We'll jump on a call. No charge for that initial call. I just want to get an idea of where you're at and what we can do to help. And if we can help you, great. We'll go from there. Hey, guys, remember, suit up, feel great. We'll see you next Wednesday. Cheers.